I'm JV. At 20, I pressed pause on uni to chase two dreams: backpacking the world alone and completing one of the toughest endurance races in the world, an ironman. I wanted to discover if there was more to life than the path simply laid out in front of me. So welcome to my 8-part series of one of the best years of my life. In the last episode, I was in Morocco, and Morocco was absolutely beautiful. Then I went to EU, where I booked nothing for the same on next day. I met Brian Zoo in Iceland, went to Italy, Slovenia, Hungary, Romania, and I had to improvise my way of eating in order to save as much money as possible. I learnt my second lesson during this time, and all of that now leaves me here. Prague was one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. I went to Munich and stayed at this 160-tent hostel and got to explore around the town. I met Stefan at the train going from Prague to Munich.
What's up? This is Stefan. Met him in the train. And here we are having beers, baby. Let's go.
I never drink, so I got drunk so fast by drinking just one beer. Stefan, what a legend. He made sure I got home safe. I caught up with Michael that lives in Germany. We met at the Reykjavik airport and I got to be introduced into his world. We shared a pizza together just talking about life, and we shared about what it is like growing up Asian in predominantly white countries. And while being on the other side of the world, there were so many similarities. As beautiful as Europe's old architecture is, nature has always been where I truly come to appreciate the world's beauty. Being able to slow down and step away from the hectic pace of daily life, giving me the space to reflect and appreciate the things I've actually done. I travelled around Switzerland with Emily Martin. We used to work together 5 years ago when we were just kids. It's crazy how life turns out sometimes.
Emily Martin's recorded.
So nice, so nice. 10 out of 10.
Switzerland was a pivotal time that taught me how much I love documenting life. I spent a few days alone in Switzerland, and along the way, I met this video maker, Ruben. He makes professional videos for companies. I showed him my recent ironman video, and he absolutely loved it. After leaving him, I reflected to myself and realised I love video making and documenting life. I feel like in life, it goes so fast that whilst I'm trying to live one chapter of my life, without knowingly, the beginning of a new chapter begins. Life just feels like I was just getting used to it one way, and just as life does what it does, the sudden jolts of life, things change, things evolve, and you move along so fast with it, learning and relearning so much about life. You cross paths with so many people in your life through your constant chapters, but because of this thing called life, they don't stay with you forever. It's almost sad, but it's beautiful because if it were to last forever, you would never appreciate the people you get to cross paths in life.
Oh, God bless.
There's a thought behind how recording things and taking photos takes you away from living in the moment. Realizing that the present moment is beautiful and documenting it helps me to truly appreciate life in my own very two eyes, especially the everyday moments.
Get on the train, go, get on the train, get on.
People come and go. At one part of your life, you'll see your family or your friends every other day, to only seeing them once or twice a year. Documenting the moment and telling the stories gives me a meaning towards the constant changes of life. Stopped by in Strasbourg, which was a nice small town. I went for a run near the border and got lost in Germany.
I'm lost. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Hello, Tobias.
Tobias,
I got
hi.
lost in Germany. I ran from France to Germany and he helped me.
I got to see the Eiffel Tower at night. My two main highlights in Paris was that I ate Tunisian food and I got diarrhea, but came back the next day and ate it again because it was so damn good. And I got to see Jonathan as well. We met at the Reykjavik airport. We had an ultimate French experience, and then we had wine by the river and talked about life. Constantly being in new places surrounded by different people for such a short amount of time has shown me just how temporary each moment in life truly is.
They say Paris is a city of love, and we fell in love.
I remember with Michael and Jonathan how we kept looking back at each other as we waved goodbye, not knowing if this was a farewell for life or just for now. But what we'll never forget is that deep connection we shared, learning about each other's lives in the time that we had shared this chapter together.
Christophe, Julia, Nancy.
And off I went to Nice to watch Gutter in the World Championships Ironman. And it was so refreshing to see familiarity after a while of solo travelling. I got to see Daly, Limo, Alex and Claire. There was something magical about Nice. Everyone there was for one thing. The world champs. You could feel the energy. Everyone had a story to get to where they were at the current time. Everyone had a story.
Let's go, boy!
What an achievement to be in the world champs. The energy around the whole event gave me goosebumps. After Nice, Gatto and I travelled around for 9 days in Italy. From France, we then went to Genoa. This trip was made up of small moments that made it so memorable. Trying Cavor 21, meeting a bloke and his wife and letting him decide our itinerary. Staying at a campsite in Siena, where we ate at the same pizza shop 3 days in a row. And staying in places like Pistoia, going to Florence, and riding rental bikes from a town called Lucca to Pisa, where we stayed for 5 minutes to take this photo. Seeing the cheeky Ethan smile, you know it was a good time. After leaving Gutta, I then went to Romania on the east side of Italy. I got to visit San Marino. Beautiful place. I then went back to Venice because I felt rushed the first time I stayed there, and I stayed in a town called Treviso. I stayed in this all weird yellow hostel. I met this guy Marco in the same room as me, and he was an electrician. But as I started talking to him, things didn't really make sense. His family was in the other side of Italy, saying he works in Venice, and he asked to borrow my money. But regardless, I just joined him and we went to Venice the next day. We became best friends. You'd have to buy a transport boat card to get around Venice, but Marco said we didn't have to, and he pushed in front of every single line, even at restaurants. As our friendship started to grow, we even fed turtles together. We had many Aperol Spritz together. We took many selfies together. We went even on a romantic gondola together. We explored his beautiful hometown of Venice together.
San Marco!
But when we went back into town, he asked if he could borrow my money from me.
Give me 20 euro cash. And tonight I give you.
Trying to pull a cheeky, mate. Marco, I thought we were becoming best friends. Mate, we could have been something special, Marco.
Why you have problem with me?
Until next time, I guess. After 50 days later, Jonah and I caught up again to do an adventure of a lifetime, hiking 5 days around the Dolomites, the mountains of Italy. This was the best thing we both have done in our time in Europe. We would hike hut to hut and wow, it was phenomenal. We met Hannah and David, a couple that were both teachers from Germany. They were so friendly and Jonah got to stay at their place during his travels. There was nothing truly like the Dolomites. For the 5 days, it was pure bliss. I finished off my time